James Comey isn't the only political enemy of President Trump put on notice. Trump has signed a presidential memorandum to help identify people he believes stir up political violence.
We're going to do a pretty big number of those people. They're bad, and we're going to find out. And if they are funding these things, they're going to have some problems because they're agitators and they're anarchists.
The president blames the radical left for the killing of Charlie Kirk. He accuses, quote, wealthy people of funding political violence. The New York Times reports one of those targets is a group funded by billionaire Democratic donor George Soros. While Attorney General Pam Bondi stopped affirming that, she said, quote, everything is on the table. So here to talk about it, our group chat, Noel King, co-host and editorial director of Today Explained, Rob Bluey, president and executive editor of The Daily Signal, and Lulu Garcia-Navarro, New York Times journalist and podcast host. All right, so I want to start with a comment from Stephen Miller, which just gives us a tiny bit more detail. So bear with me. Here's what he had to say.
What we have seen, if you look at whether it be going back to the riots that started with Black Lives Matter and all the way through to the Antifa riots, the attacks on ICE officers, the doxing campaigns, and now the political assassinations, these are not lone, isolated events. This is part of an organized campaign of radical left terrorism. It is terrorism on our soil. Because of this executive order, Cash and Pam are going to have the tools they need, working with Scott, to take these organizations apart piece by piece.
Can I start with you, Noel?
Sure.
Piece by piece.
No one knows who Antifa is. I mean, this is actually the problem.
But Black Lives Matter, there is, like, for instance, I think a foundation, there's an organization. I mean, they were struggling financially, so I don't know what's going to happen. But they were naming names here of the kinds of groups they wanted to go after.
And then you got to prove that they're terrorists. And I just don't think that's going to be an easy thing to do. I mean, I think it's really interesting that the Trump administration is targeting billionaires like George Soros, Reid Hoffman. Like, this is very unusual for America,
but
right?
Why? I mean, Soros does fund a lot of organizations.
Billionaires have the best lawyers. They're the most insulated from the justice system. This is America. I'm sorry. Like, this is a really weird moment. These are typically the people that our justice system leaves alone. And the president of the United States saying we're going to go after some of the people in this country who have the most money. Now, if I were on the right, what I would be concerned about always is the next time the shoe is on the other foot.
I was about to say, why not then, when a Democratic president comes on, go after Tim Dunn, Ferris Wilks, two Texas billionaires who do massive funding on the right in Texas and beyond, the Koch brothers and their network. I mean, this is part of the issue. We can have, I think, a good faith debate about money in politics. And boy, I have thoughts on that. But is that what this is about, or is this about actually going after the perceived enemies of this administration and trying to basically gut what are civil society groups?
I mean, what they're saying, though, is that this is in a direct relation to the Charlie Kirk assassination. This is an ongoing conversation on the right about the constellation or atmosphere on the left that they think contributes to this. Am I misreading that?
I think when you see the writing on the bullets and the Charlie Kirk assassination and the attack on the ICE facility this week, there are legitimate questions that are being raised, or why are these shooters putting these messages, these cryptic messages sometimes, and what do they mean exactly? So not only do you have the president making this move from the White House, but you also have Congressman Chip Roy in the U.S. Congress who wants to form a select committee to do an investigation. So I'm all for investigating and trying to get to the bottom of this. To your point
What does he want that investigation to do, the congressional one?
Chip Roy, he wants to form a select committee to look into what he calls anti-American activities that are happening on our own soil.
Anti-American activities.
Yeah,
It's interesting. The anti-Americans. Does that not bring back happy memories of the past?
You brought up George Soros earlier, and I think the reason that Trump is looking at Soros is he has funded a lot of prosecutorial races in this country for individuals who have, what the right would say, gone easy on criminals.
He's an American billionaire. That is his right. We made this decision. Citizens United. We said money belongs in politics. George Soros is playing the same game as every other billionaire in America.
Okay, you guys, we're going to leave it here because honestly, I think we're going to be talking about this more.